We're following breaking news. Governor Wes Moore declaring a state of emergency due to the intense flooding damage from Tuesday's storm. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Trenny. Just finished speaking with the media and folks gathered there in Western Maryland, where much of the town of Westernport is still underwater or caked in mud. Governor Wes Moore got a tour of the damage there in Allegheny County during Tuesday's torrential rainfall. There were mandatory evacuations, and firefighters had to rescue students and teachers from 2 different schools, as well as help save people who were trapped in their cars and homes. We have team coverage for you tonight with another round of rain that's in our forecast.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb in the Weather Center tracking that for us. But first, let's get over to DC News Now's Max Marcilla. He is live out in Westernport. And Max, you just spoke with the governor, and he seemed pretty moved by the damage.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, we were with him on this tour throughout this town in Western Maryland, and he was moved. We're going to show you. So this building over here, this is the town's library. And coming up in the next hour, we'll show you video from inside the governor's tour. But it is unlike what you probably have ever seen. There's mud in basically the entire library that covers at least the bottom part of your boot. There are children's books on the ground covered in mud. So a lot of the damage was in there. This, of course, on Main Street. But a lot of the damage was here too. This was a garage that town officials say there was equipment for the town that is completely destroyed. This happened because the water was so high, it literally just broke in the brick, the outermost layer of brick by this parking garage, by this storage garage. Now we'll show you some video from earlier because we've been out here all day taking a look at the damage. We have seen it from, again, the libraries to the schools to the fire station. We have seen a lot of damage. Perhaps the most remarkable thing that Governor Wes Moore noted himself was the fact that there were no casualties in this event. We saw several inches of rain. We saw flooding. We are seeing mud everywhere, and that includes at the school where kids had to be evacuated. About 200 kids had to be evacuated because of flooding in the school's parking lot. Governor Moore seemed to be moved most by that. Here's what he told us just minutes ago.
The fact that this was not a mass casualty event is simply because of God's grace and because of the remarkable work of the people on the ground here. We also know that preparation for these type of incidences, extreme weather incidences, we have to make sure that we are both prepared for them to prevent them, and also making sure that we have all resources in place to ensure that when these tragedies do happen, when these incidents do happen, that we can respond and take care of our people. This is going to be a long fight.
Now, you heard the governor there talking about the resources that is needed. He has declared a state of emergency upon his arrival here. He did have a briefing with emergency responders and elected officials, both from national politics like Congress and local, including the mayor. So he says that state of emergency is the first step in what he anticipates to be a very long and at times complex but important cleanup and restoration of this town. Reporting live out in Western Maryland in Allegheny County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Yeah, seeing the damage is incredible out there. Max, thank you. All right, let's get a first check on the forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb.
Yeah, and Janessa, I mean, these folks really need a dry spell, but it looks like more rain is on our way.
Yeah, we do have our next storm system that's going to come in tomorrow, and so today was kind of short-lived, 24 hours, just not enough time to recover from over 5 to 6 inches of swift water making its way across that region. We are dry right now. They have just expired the severe thunderstorm watch for all of the DMV, and so we're going to remain quiet for the rest of tonight. 72 under clear skies, but it's important that we are getting ourselves together pretty quickly here, as a line of storms and activity is going to be pretty heightened going into tomorrow. You can see the latest with we had a few tornado warnings out towards portions of the Rappahannock Valley and Orange. At this point, things are dying down, and so we're sitting under a lot of clearing. Here's that next storm system out towards Chicago right now, and really that's going to kind of get more explosive in nature as it goes across the Great Lakes. It interacts with temperatures that are super warm as well. 60s to 70s across the region with good mild conditions that are in place. Right now, tornado watch in place for areas of the Great Lakes. Here's the storm system. The southern edge will come together, and that's what's going to kind of make its way into our region late tomorrow morning into your afternoon and evening hours. Temperatures back into the upper 60s for overnight lows. We'll take a look at futurecast and the timing coming up.
All right, Janessa, thank you. Developing tonight, some really concerning details about numerous suspects in police custody in Maryland. A new report shows 36 deaths should have been ruled homicides. The Attorney General releasing an independent audit of the former chief medical examiner and shows 36 people who died in police custody were listed as undetermined, accidental, or natural. But independent forensic reviewers unanimously concluded that they should have been classified as homicides. The auditors also found systemic deficiencies in how the office documented autopsies, including missing photos, incomplete information, and inconsistent details on restraint-related injuries.
All new information tonight on the military parade planned for the district next month. The Washington Post reports new estimates costing between $25 to $45 million. That report also says it will involve 50 aircraft, 150 Army vehicles, and 6,600 soldiers. Now, that parade is officially set to commemorate the Army's 250th anniversary. It'll be held on June 14th, though, which is President Trump's 79th birthday. The Post also reports about 3,000 service members will be housed on unused floors of the General Services Administration building. Another 2,000 will be housed in an unspecified USDA building. Vehicles will be brought in by train or truck.
A miracle in Maryland. A toddler falls from a high-rise apartment in Montgomery County and survives. DC News Now's Ben Dennis joins us live in Silver Spring. And Ben, it's just incredible to learn that this little boy will be okay. And you spoke with folks over there. What are they telling you?
Well, I mean, Susan, it is astounding to think anyone of any age would survive a fall from 15 stories off of the ground. That's exactly what happened today to a 2-year-old at the Enclave Apartments in the White Oak area near Silver Spring. Give you a sense of just how high up. The 15th floor is the one just below the balcony that's illuminated in blue, 150 feet off the ground. A miracle in Montgomery County.
Enclave Apartments, 11,235 Oakleaf Drive, in the bushes outside, Cross Street, Lockwood Drive. Pediatric injured person from a fall on the 14th floor.
10 minutes after 2 o'clock this afternoon, police say a 2-year-old fell from a balcony on the 15th floor at the Enclave Apartments complex, landing in front of the building in a bush.
Going to be outside, left to the front door, in the bushes.
No doubt acting as a cushion mere inches from the ground.
Patient is with the mom inside the lobby.
Angel is among people living at the Enclave.
It's very shocking news.
But you said you have a child as well. I mean, does that concern you that something like that happened?
Yeah, and now I'm a little bit concerned first because I'm sure first time I'm hearing the news from you.
Police say the child was sent to Children's National Hospital in D.C., rushed there for a trauma call. What's astounding, the child was reportedly acting normally and only suffered what's believed to be a broken arm.
It's very amazing to me. I say God protect it.
God protected the child.
The child. I think is parents should be more responsible about that.
And given the nature of this fall, we can assume that doctors also checked if the child suffered any other injuries, including a potential concussion. But again, we've only heard of an apparent broken arm. No word at this hour if any criminal charges may be pursued. Again, you heard of that scanner call that the victim's mother, the kid's mother, was apparently in the lobby at the time that first responders rolled up. As police continue to investigate, again, we don't know if any charges may come about. Stay with us as this story develops. In the White Oak area of Silver Spring, Ben Dennis, back to you.
Yeah, just a miracle. What a story, Ben. Thanks. Meanwhile, all new tonight, a grand jury indicted a D.C. man for attacking an elderly man before a Nationals game. Prosecutors say Tavon Brown grabbed the victim's leg and punched him for no reason at the Navy Yard metro station last year. The man is rushed to the hospital, the head injury, broken nose and tooth, and needed 20 stitches. Brown could face heavier charges for violence against a senior citizen. D.C. police still investigating this case. Trial is set for July.
New tonight, Governor Glenn Youngkin slamming Arlington County leaders for restricting police from cooperating with ICE agents. On a social media post calling the decision a dereliction of duty and a betrayal of the oath they swore to protect their constituents. He adds the Commonwealth's Homeland Security Task Force has been making arrests and will continue to do so in Arlington County and across Virginia. It was back on Tuesday that the county board voted to stop proactively contacting ICE agents on immigration issues. The board members saying that doing so was making the community less safe, as people were too fearful of contacting police for fear of being deported. Concerned folks in D.C., they are speaking up about having their voices heard on the proposed RFK Stadium project.
Yeah, so they gathered at a meeting at a town hall tonight at the Pennsylvania Avenue Baptist Church. DC News Now's Tim Reed was there. Tonight has reaction.
More than 100 people attended Thursday night's town hall. Union workers, along with local residents, claim the RFK site deal doesn't include a commitment to create good jobs.
We can't move backwards on RFK. The city wants to invest over $1 billion.
Union workers and D.C. residents in Ward 7 say they are concerned the RFK Stadium site project is not a good deal. That's why these union members crowded into a local church, calling on the city to do the right thing.
My concerns mainly are that the jobs that are provided are stable jobs, are union jobs, are worthy jobs, so that the people have better quality of life.
Residents and union members tell us they are calling on their elected leaders to refuse to authorize $1 billion in taxpayer funds to build a new RFK Stadium and its sports entertainment district unless it comes with commitment to provide good union hospitality jobs, restaurant jobs, and construction jobs.
We just want to get the people that work, that live in Ward 7 and throughout the D.C. area to have union jobs, just like me.
My concerns is that she's trying to take away the PLA. And PLA, it provides jobs for apprentices. It provides the hours for the apprentices to become journeyman workers.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says the RFK site is expected to create 14,000 jobs on the construction side alone, plus 2,000 permanent jobs are expected.
If they're not union jobs, we don't need them at all.
Union workers say they will continue to have their voices heard. In Washington, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
The Washington Capitals holding on for dear life at Capital One Arena right now. Yeah, they face elimination in their second round playoff series with the Carolina Hurricanes.
A win, they play Game 6 in Raleigh, but they lose, and it is the end of the season. We have Derek Forrest joining us now, and I don't know, what's the update?
Yeah, right now it's in the third period,
okay,
and the Capitals and Hurricanes are still locked up. But the Capitals are playing some really tough hockey right now as they are trying to hang with the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 5 over at Capital One Arena. Now the Hurricanes, they were the first ones to score as they made it 1-0 in the first 10 minutes of the first period. But the Capitals would have an immediate answer. 4 minutes after the first goal of the game, the Capitals would tie it up as Anthony Beauvillier scored his second goal of the postseason. In the second period, the Capitals thought they had a goal, but they were called for offsides. And just a few moments ago, Pierre-Luc Dubois had a chance at the net and was not able to find the back of the net, so the game is still tied at 1. This one is now in the third period. If the Capitals, if they're able to get the win, they would force a Game 6, which would be played Saturday in Carolina. A loss would mean the season is over for the Washington Capitals. Of course, we're going to have all the highlights and post-game reaction tonight at 10 p.m. and of course on game night at 11. Guys.